This is the story of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, patch 6.2, Buried Memory. Now, where we left off at the end of patch 6.1, the Radiant Host and the people of Razadhan gave Varshahn their blessing to journey to the 13th in search of his long-lost sister. Let's get started. The heroes meet at the Great Work in Thavnair to resume their journey. Y'shtola tells the hero that the alchemists have managed to create the artificial Atomos as planned. Cid arrives and says his engineers have enhanced the warding scales to withstand the void as well. Then Nidhana urges Varshahn to come with her for a moment before they leave. They are gone for quite some time, but eventually they return, and Varshahn has been gifted a new vessel by the alchemists.
We spared no effort in crafting the body, and I dare say you'll find it adept at wielding weapons and magics both.
After thanking Nidhana, Varshahn turns to his Radiant Host and asks them to take care of Razadhan in his absence, and to keep watch over the Void Gate. They reassure him and wish him well. Then Y'shtola has an update from Urianger. Urianger was present at the expedition to Alzadal's legacy for research the Loporrits could make use of. In return, they gave Urianger a very special crystal.
Aye, the crystal, which showed the way to Meteon. The Loporrits no longer have need of it, and thus saw fit to return it to us. And who better to bear Hydaelyn's gift than her chosen champion?
Encouraged and well prepared, the heroes head straight to the Void Gate. Y'shtola sends the Atomos to expand the Void Gate.
It worked. We should have no trouble passing through a gate of that size.
Take heart, my friends, and have faith. We will brave this broken world, and rescue my sister Azdaja.
The heroes pass through the Void Gate, leaving the source behind and arriving at the 13th reflection. They find themselves at the Fell Court of Troya, where they fight through vicious void-sent creatures, and at the end they encounter Scarmiglione, who kills the mistress of the castle. After defeating him, Estinian remarks that Scarmiglione knew the Void Gate was opened. The others wonder what the other Voidsent will do without their mistress.
Your mistress is no more, and the one who consumed her we slew in turn. Do you still mean to try us?
Whatever the reason, the Voidsent leave the heroes alone, and Varshahn says it would be wise to learn what they can about them. They split up and try to get any information they can from the void-sent creatures, but most of them are barely capable of speech. Eventually, one of them mentions a clever one in the dungeon. They decide this sounds like a good lead and head that way.
You want to find.
The heroes realize in an instant that this Voidsent was the very one that was bound to Xenos.
I see it now. The bottomless darkness. The insatiable hunger. The aura was present when we faced him in Garlemald. When Xenos died, its connection to the source was severed. It was forced to return to the void.
The hero approaches it with Hydaelyn's crystal.
But how? The light just now. Of course. And thus I am returned.
She and Y'shtola explain that Xenos made a covenant with the Void to lend him strength, and she was bound to him.
My very essence was altered, twisted into a tool to serve his desires.
She's still a Voidsent though, so Estinian asks if she's an enemy. She simply says the hero beat her once and she has no desire to lose again, so Estinian is satisfied. She also says Xenos called the hero a friend, but she doesn't know what that means. After this exchange, Y'shtola remarks that exposure to the Crystal of Light has made this Voidsent different from the others, but she's still full of darkness. The Voidsent then says she won't help them with anything unless they give her ether, as no one in this world helps anyone unless they get something in return. Y'shtola offers her ether, so the Voidsent begins to tell her story.
There was once light here, and it shone its warmth upon creation. The lands were green and the seas were blue. Life flourished.
She then says there was a war, called the Contra Memoria, that shattered the balance and their world was consumed by darkness. All life was transformed into Voidsent creatures, and since then they've separated it into factions and domains. She reveals that she is unlike the other Voidsent because she's only void in part.
The darkness touched my mother when the war had only just begun, when I was still in the womb.
But she insists she is still one of them and only lives to prey on the weak. She also won't reveal her name, although it may be that she doesn't care to have one, so the heroes name her Zero. Varshahn then tells her they are seeking a lost ancient dragon. Before she responds, he hears a weird hissing sound, so they head inside. At this point, Zero demands her payment.
Very well.
Again? But we struck it down, watched it die.
Y'shtola figures out that on the 13th, souls find no rest, and nothing really dies permanently. Scarmiglione sniffs a familiar scent on Varshahn, revealing that he knows his sister Azdaja. A fight breaks out, and Zero walks off, saying she won't help unless she gets something in return again. The heroes find that no matter how many fiends they kill, Scarmiglione simply spawns new ones. Zero says she knows how to stop them, and Y'shtola convinces her that she owes them anyway since they gave her a name.
A name for which I did not ask, but that I nevertheless did accept.
Zero has the power to crystallize Voidsent creatures, preventing them from respawning.
Why won't it heal? What is the meaning of this?
As the hero picks up Scarmiglione's crystal, he has a vision. In this vision, a knight in black named Golbez earns the loyalty of 4 great beings after allowing them to feast on powerful ether.
Feast, my friends, feast, and arise as my 4 arch-fiends.
As they feast, Golbez says they will not fully consume the dragon, as he has other plans for it. As the hero returns from his vision, Zero explains that the transformation to these crystals, called Memoria, is permanent as far as she knows. Then she demands her payment, which Y'shtola provides. After receiving Y'shtola's ether, Zero says that during the Contra Memoria, many had this power to make Memoria out of beings, but today she's the only one left who can do this, which may be because she is only half Voidsent. She doesn't know much about Golbez, so the hero asks around the castle about him. He learns that the 4 archfiends who serve Golbez are deadly and they've been assaulting other domains. Varshahn asks Zero to help them find and stop Golbez, but again she demands payment, so he offers his own ether. As they walk onward, a snooping Voidsent who heard everything plans to report to Golbez. Having agreed to help, Zero takes the heroes to a mount they can use to fly to another island where they might find more info about Golbez. As they arrive, Zero says this island is a settlement of pariahs and refugees. The Voidsent approach, ready to devour the heroes, but Zero terrifies them with the display of dominance and they wander off. Now that they won't be harmed, the heroes split into groups and ask around about Golbez. They learn that a fiend named Farfarello may know something about Golbez. Meanwhile, in another domain, Golbez consults with the Thrones of the Elements. They report that a spy says the heroes have defeated Scarmiglione and are traveling with a companion who has the power of Memoria.
If this account is true, if a Memoriat has survived, they cannot be suffered to live.
The Throne of Wind, who refers to herself as Barbaricia, says she will take care of it.
Then go and impress upon these interlopers the futility of defiance.
My lord.
Back on the refugee island, the hero speaks with a Voidsent who knows Farfarello, but he says Farfarello is gone and then flees. The hero chases him into a corner, and he admits the truth. He says he devoured Farfarello, but that he asked to be devoured. He sensed that Barbarisha was coming to this island, and he feared her above all else. Zero then says the wheel of life and death does not turn as it should here, so now this creature is filled with Farfarello's fears since his ether has nowhere to go. Just then, they see her approaching, so the hero runs to tell the others.
She's here.
Alas, poor Scarmiglione, and good riddance. Felled by outsiders in pursuit of what? Pray tell.
A dragon. One who crossed to this world thousands of years ago. Know you aught of it?
If you would know about the dragon you seek, then enter into my domain.
She leaves, and the heroes agree to pursue her. Varshahn offers his ether to Zero in exchange for more help. Before leaving, the heroes agree to seal Barbarisha into a memoria once they defeat her, even if it jeopardizes their chance to hear what she knows about Azdaja.
You're not the only ones who can ride the wind!
As his allies strike down the minions, the hero approaches the Archfiend. At Storm's Crown, the hero takes on Barbarisha in a long and difficult fight, but he triumphs still.
No! I will not be denied!
You're finished.
Damn it all!
The hero picks up her memoria in hopes of triggering another vision, but nothing happens. While the day was won, nothing was learned about Azdaja's whereabouts.
Our efforts have not been entirely fruitless. We have deprived your sister's captor of another powerful champion. With Zero, we may yet challenge Golbez and his minions.
Suddenly, Zero collapses. The heroes take her back to her domain and agree to take care of her. Zero is defenseless and they can't just leave her here, so they decide to take her back with them to the source, where she will have plenty of ether and can heal. Before they leave, a messenger says that a former minion of Barbarisha has come to the island. They speak to the minion, but he knows little about Golbez, only that he communicates with the Archfiends using special staves. Without further delay, they return to the source.
It is good to be home again, among those who I love dearly and missed so much.
And we are glad to receive you, Varshahn. Welcome home.
Chambers have been prepared for your use at Megaduta. Let us take Zero there at once.
Y'shtola says the source has abundant ether, unlike the 13th where Zero is from.
Simply being here and drawing breath, Zero will absorb what she needs.
Y'shtola suggests they give her food once she awakens. Then she says Fandaniel must have been behind this when Xenos used the power of darkness to bind Zero to himself. She supposes that the crystal which revealed Zeros' true form only worked because Zero is not fully Voidsent. The hero leaves to get food for Zero, while the others leave for other helpful tasks, and Varshahn swaps back to his smaller body. The hero picks up a bowl of fruit from Mayride.
Light. What happened? How did I get here?
Oh, you're awake! Wonderful!
Ah! Ah! What is this? Some sort of fiend?
A fiend? Where is it? Where? You're in the source, my dear. The world next door, so to speak. The others brought you here after you collapsed. Wait. Don't tell me you don't know how to eat?
I took what I needed from it. What's the problem?
Where's the enjoyment in that? You're supposed to bite, to chew, to savor, and then swallow.
She isn't able to taste, but agrees to receive apples as payment going forward and has no desire to return to the 13th. Regardless, the heroes will return until they find Azdaja.
You managed to return in one piece this time. But don't assume you'll be so lucky the next.
With Zero feeling better, the hero and Varshahn take her on a tour of Radz-at-Han. She is puzzled by the sights and doesn't understand why people dance or trade goods or pretty much anything. She meets the orphans who followed Estinian in the past, and they mention friendship. She then turns to the hero and says Xenos considered him such a great friend that he traveled the great expanse and gave his life for him. The heroes reconvene and Zero now shares what she knows about her world to return the favor from Varshahn. She says that aeons ago, her world was at peace and full of light, but servants of darkness came and taught their people how to summon fearsome beings known as Eidolons.
The Ascians. And these Eidolons are surely primals.
Zero says heroes appeared, called Memoriates, that had the power to bind these Eidolons to crystals.
How exactly did that calamity come to pass? Did the Memoriates not triumph?
She says that they defeated the dark beings, but in time were seduced by darkness themselves.
Not the first to be corrupted by power, nor the last.
In time, their world was at its end.
The stars faded from the heavens as a pall black as pitch enveloped creation. Darkness raged unchecked, rending the very walls of reality.
She says the world is long lost.
A lost world, you say? I wouldn't be so sure. The 13th is still there, is it not?
Y'shtola then explains to Zero all the heroes have learned about the source and the reflections.
Then, unlike the worlds that have been rejoined, mine still...
Y'shtola believes there is still hope for restoring the 13th. Zero is unfazed, but agrees to help as long as they keep giving her ether.
I will consider this a deposit.
First Scarmiglione, and now Barbaricia. Useless, the both of them.
The Throne of Fire and the Throne of Water swear to Golbez that they have a plan to stop the heroes and the Memoriate.
What irony that the blessed damned should set us free. As I swore so long ago. The gate lies open. At long last, my ambition shall be fulfilled!
And patch 6.2 ends there. If you want to see what happens next, check out the story video for patch 6.3. Until next time.